All right. Loki, penultimate episode of the Marvel Disney Plus series. Things were very bad. Spoiler alert ahead. Jeff D. Lowe, Ken Jack, and Gooch. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Like the video and leave comments below. What's your theory? How is Loki season 2 going to end? But yeah, things were very bad going into this episode for Loki. Things were blowing up. We saw the conclusion of that. It blew up and everyone was gone. And then Loki started time slipping and he starts to meet his friends from the TVA in their real world counterpart areas. And it was first of all, I love time loopy stuff. Very time loopy, time jumping, time traveling, universe hopping story. Him needing to explain to all these people in the real world who they actually are in the TVA, what's happening, how to fix things. Kiwi Kwan's Ouroboros is an awesome character, by the way. I didn't know he'd be such a big character in the show. I thought when he got hired on, it was like great and everything ever all once. Put him in Loki, maybe a small role. Like he is a massive part of the show. This was a very fun episode, and it sets up what's going to be. I don't know how it's going to end. The rumors of how big Kang's role is going to be. There is a connection to Deadpool. You kind of thought, no, there's no way they're going to introduce the next big bad in the last season finale, but they did. I don't know what's going to happen in this last one, but we just found out at the end of this episode as everyone spaghettis and goes into like noodles and dies, he now can control the time slipping, and he time slips back to what it looks like right before Victor Timely goes out to try to fix the temporal loom of the show, of the timelines and reset everything. So I don't know. Do we think we're going to see a big thing at the end, a big reveal?
Loki's in like this season, I feel like more than anything else, been very hard to predict, especially just using season 1 as a barometer. So I don't really feel like I don't feel informed during this season at all of almost anything. I'm the most ill-informed person on earth watching this show because I am so confused half the time of what's going on. And sometimes that's for better, sometimes that's for worse. So I don't feel like I can make a good call.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ken Jack. I am enjoying this show. Like, I'm enjoying this second season. I don't think it's as good as season 1, but it's still a lot of fun, and it just looks better. It's acted better. Like, the dynamics are just much better in this series than what we've gotten from the rest of the Marvel television shows. But I do think it is a little dense. The writing is just very dense, and thank God for Kiwi Kwan, because I don't know who else can step into that Ouroboros role and deliver all these very like high-level sci-fi, like just terminology, but make it sound so sincere. And like
very funny that the character is a failed scientist who writes sci-fi novels. Like that's a fucking brilliant way to have that character create what is essentially the TVA. I love that.
Yeah, he's a great character, and I love Kiwi Kwan in that role. Like it works in a way that I don't know how many other actors can make that work. But like I said, very confused right now. Hopefully the finale kind of ties things up and makes everything come into picture and come into focus a little bit better. Because right now it's just a collection of some fun stuff for me, and I'm like, where are we going from here? What's happening?
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it.
It's interesting because it's very tough to do these time loopy, time slip things where there is no end and you have to wait for the last one to come out. Like this is a movie, easy, but to wait in between each week, it's like, oh fuck, I gotta remember what happened here. And that for me, it's not really a complaint. Like I love this type of time travel and like time slipping story. Like it gets me every time. A good loop where Loki, in the beginning episode, he sees himself, and then all of a sudden he is himself from what he saw. That's going to get me every time. I'm a sucker for it. Like I'm a sucker for it every time. I like to have my mind just melted where it's like, I don't know what the fuck's happening now. But I do trust they're gonna pick it up though, and they're gonna find a way to piece it together at the end here. Like clearly, like it's a very big aha moment at the end of the episode, but it's like, do they? I don't know. Like I'm with you. Like it's tough to predict. Like we've heard from this Variety article that slammed Marvel and said things were bad, that it does connect very heavily to Kang, and it connects very heavily to Kang Dynasty. But like, will it connect to Deadpool at all? Like, will it have any bit of connection to there's been rumors like I guess Ryan Reynolds, remember he tweeted at Miss Minutes tweeted, like, could there be, or is that just going to be down the line? We're going to see that in Deadpool because they are connected. Owen Wilson's Mobius is in Deadpool, the new one with Wolverine and Deadpool with Hugh Jackman back. But I don't know. Like, I don't know if they're going to, like, would they drop something that big? It'd be crazy. The other crazy thing is, too, the finale, because they changed around the when it releases, comes out the same night as the Marvels premiering. Like, would they really drop a big thing? And by the way, the Marvels is not even is not shying away from the fact that X-Men are going to be involved in this movie. Like, I don't know what it is. We've seen rumors, but like the trailers now, like they when there's a word with the letter X in it, the X is the last thing to come off the screen. And she was revealed as a mutant in the Marvels, Kamala Khan. So I don't know. Like, are they going to? Is like a big day where like the X-Men like are just revealing a bunch of bullshit in Marvel? I don't know. Yeah, again, I would normally say no, but the last time we saw Loki finale, they did reveal something big. So.
I want Loki to show up at that bar where Logan hangs out, like they did in Days of Future Past. Yeah. be like, I need you for the TVA,
and he's like, fuck yourself or whatever. Yeah,
yeah.
That'd be kind of. I think that.
Again, it's gonna happen eventually. Maybe it'll happen for that, but like it would be kind of a funny natural way to slip in. But like, would they do it in Loki when they do it the same night that the Marvels released, which by all accounts apparently does have a major tie-in to. That's what the rumors into the X-Men. So
the Marvels does.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. But we'll see. Very enjoyable though. Like, I love that one of the complaints early off the top of the show was like, it doesn't really tie that much into all the other Marvel stuff. I'm like, well, that's kind of the enjoy. Like,
that's good.
But that's why you get like this aura. Like, you get these fun, different kind of things that are unique to the Marvel world. Like more of that. Like more of the unique, like new, fresh character. Like that's what we want.
You get Ouroboros without the setup of there's an Ouroboros series coming. In 2025.
Oh, just like, don't even say that. Don't even say that, dude. It's gonna happen.
Fuck.
How would you do that? Like fucking Ouroboros Coven of Chaos or whatever. The IT desk.
That's what they would call it. They would call it that.
Yeah,
it's just like it's.
Sorry,
it really is like that's what you would expect. Like that's what you would from like other like Marvel stuff. It's like you'd expect like, oh well. Like Ouroboros will return in like the Borises. Like it's just like it is that bullshit. But like, you can enjoy just like fresh new character and don't need a ton of backstory and setup. Like that being a complaint for people is still crazy to me.
But we always joke about it with like too, and like I think there's the famous tweet about it, or whatever, where it's like there's Morpo Blorpo, whatever. Like that is the stuff we always talk about. We do like this type of Morpo Blorpo where it's Ouroboros or like Korg. Or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like these little side characters where they get to go off and do something fun with something nobody knows about that has no setup. That's where I feel like Marvel really hits their stride and has a lot of strength, where they get to do something fresh and new, and writers aren't beholden to this giant, their own version of like a sacred timeline, basically, where it's just Kevin Feige has the giant board that they needs to adhere to set up 20 different things. Whenever they have a character that's a throwaway that can just plug and play anywhere they want, that's where they really excel with writing. And I think that's where they kind of get away from the further they get down the line.
So I got a question. So Loki's going to end up as the timekeeper, basically, like what Kang was in season 1.
He remains, yeah.
So how does that play into like the rest of the MCU, like moving forward, like for the big stuff? Like, will he just be off screen the whole time, or?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I love the concept of him like rounding up the Avengers and like being the one to bring the teams together. I think that's awesome. He is. It's like one of the few left that's still going from like the OG movies. Like think about that. Yeah. That's like kind of crazy. Like Loki of all characters remains like this character, this figure in this face of the Avengers and these franchise that's still relevant.
Like 10 times.
And everyone loves, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I would assume that's how it's going to happen. That's my guess. How much will he be up in the forefront as the character? I don't know. There's other like Loki and Thor backstory related things with the Marvel comics I won't get into solely because I just don't know enough about it, but it's a lining up for a type of run for Loki that I think they've seen before in comics, or at least related to it. So him in that role is great. I would love him to be like the team leader. Imagine Loki and Deadpool as like the two that round up all like the different, like Deadpool rounds up all the other universe characters, Loki rounds up all the, like, there's something fun to that and different that I think people could get behind.
The week you weren't here, like probably like 5 weeks ago when we were doing Loki and Robbie Fox came on, we initially had said that. We were like, be awesome if, because I was like, Loki's like the most charismatic guy left in the MCU at this point. Like, he's the biggest draw. He's got more juice than anybody. So it would be nice to see him leading the Avengers. And Robbie was like, well, what if it was him and Thor together? Just brothers, just run that dynamic back.
They want to make another Thor. I mean, honestly, like, if you are Marvel and you're saying, hey, how do we get to a point where these things are hitting on all cylinders again? If like the leader of the Avengers team, and obviously it's going to be like Sam Wilson, you're going to have Cap and all that, but like if it's Spider-Man, if it's Thor and Loki and like Deadpool with like Wolverine, like, that is pretty great. Like, that's pretty, I think you'd have to be like a big fucking hater to really not like that. Or if it just stinks.
Julie Louis-Dreyfus is in the MCU. I almost forgot about that. Got that thing going on too.
Should be in the Thunderbolts coming out next year, apparently.
What's her name? Vicky Valancourt?
Yeah, and Agent
Harrison
Black
Ford's in the MCU now.
Yeah, that's right.
He's going to be Harrison Ford is going to be the fucking Red Hulk. That's crazy.
Oh, he's going to look
too
so
much
gross.
I can't wait for that press tour. Hey, what do you think about the Red Hulk? I don't fucking give a shit.
You know, Tim Apple needs to make a purchase sometime soon.
Well, you know, the Green Hulk. Well, this one's red.
Though, granted, I will say that is because someone died. Worth noting.
Yes.
Tim Apple,
okay,
it's time to
that's
open up the pocketbooks.
One more left of Loki.
Mm-hmm.
One more episode, and then on pause for a little while from the Marvel world until Echo, I believe, in January. That's it for Ken, Jack, and Gooch. I'm Jeffy Lowe. Leave a comment below. What's your theory on Loki, the final episode of season 2? Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. That's it for our Loki recap for season 2, episode 5. Talk to you next time.